Thank you. Tony Ineson.
I'm going to ramble on a little bit.
You can ramble on for 5 minutes.
Yeah, the big question, have we got the balance right? I'm going to start with rates at 5.5% is just unacceptable. You've got elderly out there, some are asset rich and cash poor. Some are not so asset rich and cash poor. And you've got young people coming up that are struggling in housing at the moment. They're going to be cost increases for everybody, from insurance to power to phones to groceries, general cost of living. And then from you guys, cathedral tax. I'm not saying it's locked in. Fuel tax on top of $2.30 a litre at the moment. Water tax, almost a certainty given the debacle with the bore maintenance, or lack of it. Set new targets aimed at, say, 3% maximum rates. Cut costs to fit, including cycle lanes. I'm a cyclist, but I don't need cycle lanes, and I'm living in some of the dangerous parts where the quarry trucks, well, not quite where the quarry trucks are, but where they drive through Yaldhurst and Russley. You know, it's gone from 100 million to 150 to 160. Don't take me at those costs as gospels, but that's about it. Christchurch Council staff levels, 212, 2,500, 2017, 3,200, 750 increase, 30%. That's huge. And I understand the earthquake issues. I understand those. But we're in tough times and tough decisions that have got to be made. You know, this is all great. Are there too many councillors? Are the community boards effective? Sell or sell down some assets. How strategic is City Care and Enable when there are companies out there that do exactly the same job? And other companies. No more handouts. They see you as a bit of a cash cow, or the council as a cash cow. I mentioned the Theatre Royal. We've been 3 times in the last 3 months. Another $5 or $10 will make no difference. And I'd say that would apply to anyone that goes to the Theatre Royal. Christchurch, New Zealand. I would normally support that. I've got a marketing background. But times are tough. Hey, you can't have the extra 1.5 million this time round. Maybe next time. Edgware Pool. No, you committed to it. And I know you'd love to do it for them. Like you'd love to help everybody out, but you can't. And so it goes on. Everyone can work smarter for less. And this next comment is going to grate some of you because of, you know, your political leaning. Sell the social housing to the government. They're flush with cash. I've done 3.5 years at 0800 Hungary before the earthquake and delivered food to people that are on the bones of their arse. Some have no food in. Kids will recognise the colour of the vans and come out to the gate. You're carrying the only food they've got. I've been to a place where a lady was beaten up by her husband. They relocated her. It was all confidential. I loaded the number of cartons I shouldn't have because I knew they told me what I was going into. She had no meat. I went down to the Mad Butcher and bought $100 worth of meat for her. That wasn't 0800, that was me. So I know about all these things, but you've got to make tough decisions. Our rate proposal, I've covered this, not acceptable. I simply do not believe that your projections for the next 10 years you'll live to, or future councils will live to. Councils are not good at controlling costs simply because of the nature of your business. And they have and the perception is you have a bottomless pit. Cycleways I've mentioned, you know, the cost of those. Library, 65 mil to 80 mil. Stadium costs, God knows what that's going to be. Look at Fletcher's. Look at the Auckland company that went bankrupt. You know, Lee's, and that, I'm not suggesting they're going bankrupt, by the way, but it's tough for them. Alternative sourcing, well, I've covered that as well with selling down assets and just being tougher. Flood protection, absolutely committed to it. Heathcote now dredging, well overdue. Not your concern, well, it is your concern. You've inherited it from previous councils that actually did a bloody lousy job on maintaining that river to ease the flooding and, you know, at the top of it. you're buying out homes now. You'll end up, if you don't do something and do it urgently, you'll end up buying out Beckenham, St Martin's, Waltham, Cashmere, Spraydon. We know that the weather's becoming more unpredictable. Just look at the internationally, and New Zealand. It's crap. We're getting more floods up north. I mean, that's going to hit Christchurch, I'm sure. So totally committed to flood protection. Drinking water, chlorinating some of the very best drinking water in the world was bad enough. Not necessarily your fault, apart from extremely bad maintenance, but that's a management issue, and that was bloody shocking. I don't know that we'll ever get out of chlorinating our water. I just got a gut feel that we're stuck with it, and it may be a government decision as opposed to your decision.
We're going to keep fighting.
Yeah, good on you. So the cost, as I read it, 600,000 to 21 million. Sees it all to me. Transport, cycleways I've mentioned, except Monks Bay. I've got a vested interest. I was there for 45 years of my life. But there is a safety issue. I know that historically. There is a real safety issue for walkers and cyclists and even motorists going around that area. Intersections, absolutely. Fix them. Restore roads, yes. Over 20 years, no. 10 years maybe. Bear in mind that the damage that it's doing to the cars, and they're the cars that people can't afford to spend big bills maintaining. And community board involvement, no. Can't the staff at the Christchurch City Council handle this? There seem to be enough of them.
We have read the submission, so I mean there's no need to go through it all, and you've come to the end of your 5 minutes.
Can I just cover one other issue?
Yes, one
please?
more.
And that's what I call the grey area now that's developed in Christchurch, and that's the quarries. With increasing international visitors coming through the airport, if landing to the north or taking off to the south, they get an eye full of ugly grey quarries. So do the locals. No more consents. Apart from that, and more importantly, is the health aspect. With crystalline silicosis. You guys seem to be hell-bent on easing it through for these quarry owners instead of sending them out further.
We don't have any control.
Okay, let me finish.
It's the complete opposite.
Because it's happening. And if you're not doing enough with respect to stopping it. You can front up to the Environment Court. Locals can't. They just don't have the wherewithal to do that. You guys can, notwithstanding what I've just said about your expenses. Yeah. You remember coal dust in the UK and health issues. National Coal Board and government paid out £2.5 billion compensation. Asbestos, I don't know what James Hardie paid out and others. Bhopal in India, what did they pay out? You should be aware of the concerns that I understand from a guy that took a training course for work.
Sorry, you have gone well over time, and I did point this out to you.
Yeah, you did. So just be aware that there's very serious issues with that, and you may have to put some money aside for compensation in years ahead. Thanks very much, and sorry I've gone over.
Yeah, no. Thank you very much, and we're very alert to those issues, and thank you for...
Well, please do something about them with respect.
Yeah, thank you.